Good morning. Well, I wanted to put a little tutorial about the strange exercise of the sucking and inhaling that I showed into my Ask Me Anything series on Thursday on Instagram. It is an exercise, as some of mine, it works in regression, meaning that we get back where some functions did not develop and we get back to develop them. It seems that I find some useful tricks to find them back. You have to think about, when you think of voice, that some joints into the body are totally important and really fundamental into the developing and use of the voice. So if you have some avoidances or some dysfunctions or some function that do not work, you will have a problem into your training. So at the same time, in my experience, we have some hierarchy, I don't know the pronunciation in English, sorry, the hierarchy of the joints. You know, I give a lot of importance to the sacroiliac joint and the medium and the maximum gluteus works, and it is very important. You have the pavement floor, etc. But also here, and it is the first. This is an exercise that it is some sort, as my regressive exercise, it is done in the opposite sense of what normally we do, okay? It's very simple. It's difficult to get to have it doing really well, but it's very simple to start. You use your finger, wash it. If you have some cream, take it out because you have to put it into the mouth, so better without. You put the finger toward the palate. If it bothers you to get to the center, get in front a little, yeah, and then we work getting back a little bit. You get used, so it will not be a problem. The first thing is you start sucking as if you were a little baby taking his milk, and you will feel the tongue going round the finger. You don't do a movement with the tongue. You just observe and listen to what happens. It will get there, and we start doing that. As you see, there is a movement there. I put the finger quite behind, and for some of you it will be yet difficult doing that. For some of you it will be that is completely wrong. Meaning that you go downward instead of upward. The goal here is to get back to the upward. Your mirror neurons will help you in finding that. That's why I put the tutorial. Second step, we put the inhaling, meaning the breathing in. And while doing that, you will feel the tongue going down and pushing, especially the basis of the tongue, that it is here. This is the tongue. It is that the basis, not the back. The back, in some of you, will do some really, really wrong things. It will go downward. It will contract. It will block. It will try to push the inhale inside. It will try to make a hole behind the throat to make the inhale possible. And that's the main mistake. When we do well, behind we have the sense of a closure. The throat is opening. The back of the pharynx is closing, or we feel that. And we feel that something is moving, closing it. And we get to want to this resistance. Don't force things, never, never, never force things. Just look to get around your bad movements and just look to get into aiming to the correct thing, not pushing to obtain it immediately. Because when you force, you are going to create a problem into your fascia. You are forcing too much. When it does work well, it unblocks, and when it unblocks, it does even sudden things, sudden movements, sudden quite strange thing into the body. But this happens by itself. You are not forcing it. We do not force things. We get straight, but not forcing. And at the same time, it's when we allow the correct movement that we feel the big shift in the movement into the body. We try that. I will show you. You put and you make an inhaling, meaning breathing in. I'm explicitating a certain kind of sound that does the correct inhale. I try to come closer because I don't know if you can hear it, but when you can hear it, it's very specific. Listen. And now I put my hand here and you will see what happens to the sternum. Meaning that the sternum will start coming up, upward. The sternum, not all the rib cage. It is not the high breathing that is this. This is the high breathing. We don't want that. We want this one. That is completely another thing. For the voice is completely another thing. This part of inhaling and getting really high sternum is very useful for mezzo-soprano, for all the segment of the medium voice, and we get to have the correct mixture of heaviness and leggerezza, as we call it in Italian, to have the medium segment and the mixed voice. Some voices do not want to have the mixed voice because they want to relate to chest voice a lot, but the others, if they want a medium segment, it depends on your style, it depends on your temperament, it depends on the kind of voice you have and how you get expressive. If you don't use that, you will not have the medium segment. How you can see, you try to have it. So if you don't have it, you have to gain a bit. How much? It depends on what you want. Luisa Tetrazzini, a great, huge singer, Italian of the 20th century, the first part of the 20th century, she used that a lot. And she had that fantastic, how can I say, transcendent sound with the clarity into the voice, but not the clarity of the position of the vowels, that transcendent kind of sound, because she used that. This is what is really to get into a certain kind of old Italian sustained way of doing, and it's quite specific and it's quite magical. Not every voice must have all that. Some voices can have some voices can have a lot. It depends on you. But to have some is to have unblocked the possibility to put this kind of sustain that will help to get to some segments of the voice when you don't have them. I'll show you another time, and then you can try and enjoy. And in my next Thursday series, if you want, you ask me something about, I will be more specific. Or have you seen we have very little spaces to answer and must be very short, but you can ask some specifics. I will answer with great pleasure. Again, one time, there, L. As you see, my chin doesn't go in front. This is the way to avoid. One of the ways to avoid. Try it and enjoy. Have a good day and a very good singing.